Total loss of an automobile following a crash results when a vehicle sustains property damage to the amount that it doesn't make sense to repair that damage, and it is then deemed a total loss. In most states, the criteria that is used to determine a total loss is a percentage of value lost by the accident. For instance, if your car is valued at $10,000 and that state holds a 60% total value to determine a total loss, if your car sustains more than $6,000 in damage, it would be deemed a total loss. In Florida, the threshold to determine if a car is a total loss is 80% of its actual value. So if a car in Florida sustains damage that exceeds 80% of its value, it'll be determined to be a total loss. Your car is valued and the total loss of it is valued by determining what a similar vehicle would cost in the area. There are various ways to determine that value. You can use the NADA or Blue Book value, and you would use these in the area that you're in. For instance, what could you buy a similar vehicle in Tampa Bay if you live in Tampa Bay and had the loss in Tampa, or Miami or Orlando? But it would be determined using these various mechanisms for determining what your car's value in its condition with its mileage and its upgrades or lack of upgrades, what that value would be pre-accident. The actual cash value of a person's vehicle would be the value before the accident that it could be sold for in the area where the damage occurred. If your vehicle has aftermarket upgrades or you have completed recent repairs to your vehicle, such as new tires, new transmission, or if you have an upgraded stereo, the best way to get compensated for those things would be to keep the receipts. If you have the receipts, then you will be able to get reimbursed for those upgrades and or repairs that you've made. If you don't have the receipts for the upgrades or recent repairs, then it would be helpful if you could somehow find evidence of those repairs. For instance, if you put new tires on your car, maybe you can go back to where those tires were put on. Maybe they would be able to provide your receipt or at least an estimate of the repairs that you made. After your car is determined to be a total loss, the next step will be valuing your vehicle. The value of your vehicle will be determined pre-accident and pre the damage which deemed it a total loss. Following a total loss, if you are not at fault for the collision, the at-fault party's insurance carrier is going to be compensating you for this total loss after the value has been determined. If the at-fault party's insurance carrier doesn't have enough coverage, your own insurance would also kick in to fill in the difference and then subrogate that payment against the at-fault party. Following a collision, if you were at fault for the accident and the result is that your vehicle is a total loss, your insurance company will be responsible for both your total loss and any damages to other vehicles or property. If you owed more than your car's value at the time of the crash, then you will be responsible for the difference between the total loss that you received for your car and its value. Gap insurance is coverage when you get property damage to your vehicle and there is a difference between its value and what you owe on that vehicle at the time. For instance, if your car's actual value at the time of a loss is $15,000 but you owe $20,000 on that vehicle, following a total loss collision, you will only receive its actual cash value of $15,000, and then your gap insurance will pay the $5,000 difference with what you owe. If you don't agree with the insurance company's offer for your total loss vehicle, there are methods that you can use to dispute that value. You would need to present your own evidence in the form of values of your vehicle using maybe NADA or Kelley Blue Book values. Present this to the insurance company, disputing the value that they gave you. You will be entitled, after a total loss collision, to keep your rental car until you receive the check compensating you for your total loss. You'll receive this check typically 2 to 3 days following an agreement on the value of your total loss collision. If you and the insurance company come to an agreement on the value of your total loss, the next step would be receiving the check and then returning the rental car that you have upon receiving that check. In certain instances, you are allowed to keep your total loss vehicle. You can negotiate with the insurance company, sign a waiver and a release, and they will allow you to retain your total loss vehicle. If you cannot come to an agreement with the insurance company on the value of your total loss, you will need to file suit. In the process of filing a lawsuit, you will need to gather evidence for the value of your vehicle. It would also be a very good idea to hire a private adjuster to value your vehicle for you. At that point, you would file the lawsuit, use this evidence and the expert testimony to assess the value of your vehicle. Following a total loss collision, there are many factors and variables that go into properly and quickly evaluating your total loss vehicle. A personal injury attorney can assist you in this process because we have the people, the software, and the experts in place to be able to quickly and accurately evaluate your total loss vehicle and get you compensated for that.